Greetings from home, dear ones. We welcome you this day, for it's a magical time to be on planet Earth. We have made sure that all the important things were in place, and there you are. The important things, the aspects of what you are starting to bring to this planet, are magical. There are some important events unfolding, and one of them is Stargates. Yes, there are all sorts of science fiction about Stargates and what they truly are. We have used that word from your science fiction, for we actually have no words for them. What your science has called them before is wormholes. These are ways of going through something very quickly and appearing on the other side almost instantaneously. To fully understand what is now taking place, let us share some history of planet Earth and the human species. As we mentioned, dear ones, you are beings of the universe. You have incarnated many times in various forms and in different places throughout the universe. Some of you are experts at this. You're considered to be troubleshooters sent to different places having challenges. History erased. Many of you have traveled 300 years back from the future to be here at this exact moment. Although you do not have memories of that per se, know that you are on time and at the perfect junction of time and space. The reality is that your history was recorded, but it was also erased. Back in the early days of humanity, often humans tried to control others by making up stories or consolidating events. Around the time of Christ, and especially after that, things started shifting in very big ways. It was challenging that there were many diverse customs and belief systems, so some of your rulers tried to bring them together. Unfortunately, doing so actually erased many of the preceding historical writings that dated back to almost 6,000 years BCE. Before we have told you there were 6 parental races that came together to form planet Earth. This was after you had been on Mars and had a fairly long reign there. But Mars started losing its ionosphere and had lost its magnetic shield, the magnetosphere. It could no longer support life, and that's basically the way it is today. At some point you will discover different aspects of your own imprints on that planet. First, you will find the evidence that water was once there. And eventually you, humanity, will find the remnants that you left there. 6 parental races. When that happened with Mars, you had to start over. The 6 parental races came together and basically made you in their image. And it began all over again. But in the beginning, much like a child in human form, you had difficulties awakening from the dream. You were young and immature, so you had caretakers. However, this was to be the planet of free choice. So, all 6 of your parental races withdrew and allowed it to grow on its own. Now there are a lot of humans on planet Earth, in fact there are 8 billion of you. Who are these helper beings from the original parental races? Well, let us simply say that you don't understand it all yet. Many of them are right beside you, they're simply vibrating in a different frequency, so it's very difficult for you to even perceive. But all of them knew how to move between dimensions, and that's how they started this whole game on planet Earth. They came back and tried to guide humans. And one faction of the parental races, the renegades, came back to take care of you. They gave you specific rules and guidelines that you proceeded to violate. One of these was that you were not to procreate, which shows up in the Bible as the story of the Garden of Eden. Yes, you were truly in a place where you were well taken care of. But we tell you, if you want to say that Eve bit the apple, good for Eve. The feminine energy started taking power in many ways, which was very magical to see. And yet you were cast out of the garden. The sky people, understanding that you are creator beings, you can see this in a different light. Some of the history was written down, because you do have some evidence of these stories, even going back 6,000 years BCE. The Sumerians referred to the sky people over and over again as the Anunnaki, which means people from the sky. At a certain point humans started to take their power, as they awakened from the dream. They started to mature as a humanity, and they took care of themselves quite well. The Anunnaki left, so the evolution could continue naturally. Yes, there was much energy around it all, and many of the stories have been rewritten. There are only 4 of your parental races left in existence, for everything on your side of the veil has both a beginning and an end. Because it is finite in nature, 2 of them have now left and ceased existence. But they're working with you from the other side of the veil. For, in truth, all of you are spirits infinitely gathering wisdom on your journey. Particle accelerators. You have a beautiful scientific experiment that has been going on for quite some time. It began on the east coast of the United States, when a small particle accelerator was built. With this you could take small particles, send them in a circle, then speed them up at incredible rates and crash them into each other. The particle accelerator allowed you to study the pieces that were left. After that you built a rather large accelerator which still exists today, almost 100 meters underground near Geneva, Switzerland. It's called the Large Hadron Collider, and it is run by a group called CERN. They discovered incredible things and found so many opportunities to better understand your world. With the Large Hadron Collider, they've gained an understanding of all sorts of things and discovered the Higgs boson, which is also referred to as the God particle. Before that it was simply a theory, but incredible energies have come from this. Recently repairs and upgrades were made, so you now have new capabilities. The system went back online this year on the 22nd of April. The other aspect about it is that when you increase these close to the speed of light, you send out radiation and types of energy in waves that you're unfamiliar with. You already know about magnetic and sound waves, for everything on your side of the veil travels in waves. Everything you're seeing right now is approaching you in different waves. And the frequency of those waves determines whether the color is blue or green, and so forth. Waves of opportunity. The Large Hadron Collider is now sending out a signal into the universe, which has attracted a lot of attention. And with the upgrades, it's opened up even more opportunities. Is there something to know? Please know that you are right on target. You do not understand all the waves that exist now. But you might be aware that of all the things in the universe, roughly 92% of it is what you call dark energy or dark matter. It simply means they don't know what it is. There are many aspects of this that are radiating from planet Earth in different waves that you're unaware of. There was also a harmonic wave that affected the magnetosphere of Earth, which is very much like a large torus moving all around you in different directions. The magnetosphere is what protects you from the sun's radiation and all of its harmful effects. It actually creates the ionosphere for you. There are always gaps in the system, but this one stayed open for a very long time, which had not happened before. Now that the Large Hadron Collider is working again, everyone is watching the magnetosphere and the Earth. Although it will open up and change, it won't be harmful, so there is nothing to fear. But what we also tell you is that you now have 4 new Stargates, or wormholes, on Earth. Guardians of the Vortex. We have talked before about the Guardians of the Vortex. Sometimes you have a very sacred place in your own backyard, down the street in a park, or some place where there's a beautiful waterfall that stirs your heart. Those can be vortices, which are simply swirling energy, but over time they can turn into a portal. Well, you now have 4 brand large new portals that are reacting to the Large Hadron Collider that has begun again. They are open and will stay so for a time, but what does that mean? Well, it means that you have a Stargate and you will see some of your parental races returning. Many of them have actually been here all along, well undercover. They have the ability to vibrate at a different rate, which you cannot interact with. However, now that may change because you have opportunities to find them. What do they look like? How do you do that? There's much energy around the portals that you'll have to discover, but it is on your side of the veil, not ours. We can see them very clearly. Because they are energetic, it isn't necessarily about a physical location. And when you find them, what do you do with them? We'll ask you not to step into them, dear ones, because finding your way back might be a little challenging in the beginning. But we can tell you that beings will be coming through. So, does that mean that someday you're going to be watching a waterfall and suddenly a person will walk out? No, but keep in mind that they have the capabilities of traveling dimensionally and well hidden from your own fear. We also tell you that this can change, for you can nurture these opportunities. And when you do, you will see great things happen. Celebrate this opportunity and look for these sacred spaces. Send your love into these vortexes when you see them. If you find one of the four, it would be very magical for you. Your life will change rather drastically, in a positive way. We hope you understand that it is your true nature that has begun to resurface in many ways. We could not be prouder of what you have done here, and we tell you that there is a reunion underway. Magical Stargates, it's a beautiful time, dear ones. Watch for the Stargates and these very magical places. Is it possible for people to just disappear on Earth? Yes, it is, especially now. But understand that it is not harmful, simply a change of dimension. You'll start to see some of the other vibrations that you have not perceived before. You are on the verge of discovering dark energy and what that's truly about. Know that you're right on time, and that we love you dearly. We also tell you that in 2025, there are great plans for doing some very exciting things with the Large Hadron Collider, so watch for them. Many more of these portals will open up at that time. In the meantime, expect a miracle and we'll help you create it. It's a beautiful time to be here on the planet, and if you experience any fear, reach out and hold each other's hands. That's where the true magic is anyway. It is with the greatest of honor that we ask you to treat each other with respect, nurture one another, and play well together as the game now steps up. Enjoy the journey. Ispevo, dear ones, thank you for taking your power.